So when you're in college and you want to start making money, there are some questions, okay? What job do I get best that actually allows me to maintain my grades and also make an appropriate amount of money? Some jobs create flexibility, some jobs make you a lot of money, and some jobs prepare you when it comes to, hey, I want to get prepared for my career that I'm actually studying for in college. On top of that, there's also another important question. What do I do with the money I actually make, okay? And also, when is it actually okay to quit that job? All these questions, I'm actually gonna answer it in this video. By the way, when I was in college, I was actually doing college, doing a work-study job, working at the Gap, and running a business, and also trying to blow up on YouTube. So I was actually doing a lot of things, and I was still on the president's list and also on the dean's list. Now, by the way, it's not like me telling you, for example, oh, Tommy, you were just smart, everything went well for you. No, the answer is, okay, you can actually section off parts of your time to do what you need to do, so this way you actually don't fall behind when it comes to your studies. It's like saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna make $1,000 a month here, but I'm actually going to fail at school, which I'm paying like a ton of money for. It doesn't make sense. So it has to be a balance between, hey, I want to make money, but this right here, school, is still my priority overall. So in this video, we're gonna break everything down. Now, as always, guys, do me a favor and also smash the like button. Now, the very first thing I really want to go into detail is basically when it comes to the types of jobs, which one should you actually be looking at, okay? So first of all, the first type of job is going to be for a person that's very crazy about school and wants to maintain their grades no matter what. The job you actually want to get has to be a flexible job with flexible hours and also a lot of idle time when you work, so this way you're actually able to make money but still be able to focus on your studies. Now, by the way, for me personally, this job was basically work study. So when you're in college, a lot of college departments basically, they offer work study. You're able to work in the college, earn money, but these people, they're aware that you go to the college, you have homework to do, and a lot of these jobs are basically very basic, so it allows you to have a lot of free idle time. So when I was actually working in the financial department, like financial aid, like just sorting out folders or whatever, I had a lot more idle time than I had, for example, active hours. I could use that time to do my homeworks, but most of the time I used it to watch Netflix. I'm just being honest. But these jobs are usually the best. Jobs that have a lot of flexible hours, accommodating to whatever your school schedule is. On top of that, even when you are at work, you still have a lot of free idle time to be able to work on homework and whatever projects you actually have to get done. But don't spend the time on Netflix like I did. Now, number two is going to be work for people that just really want to make some money. Now, overall, these jobs are going to be usually when you're in college, you don't have that much experience, not that much connections. So it's usually going to be, for example, in retail, fast food, or doing waiter or a lot of tip jobs per se, okay? So tip jobs are usually gonna be the best because they're flexible in a sense when it comes to the hours, but overall, they allow you to make a lot of money depending on how good you actually are doing whatever you're actually doing, okay? But when you work at retail, I worked at the Gap for a while, like for a season, and I actually got paid $10 an hour. Minimum wage back then was actually $8.75. So I made a little bit above minimum wage working in retail, but these jobs, they usually don't have much idle time. So you can expect that when you're at work, you're actually going to be working. And if all you want is money because you're able to say, hey, nah, I just want to make money. I'm gonna give my grades either way because I can do that or whatever. I don't need like idle time. Then these jobs are usually going to be the best for you. So try to find work where it's more about, hey, I can maximize my time here, make the most money possible, and then maximize my free real time to work on my studies or whatever, okay? Now, the third type of job is going to be a job for someone, yeah, money's important in a sense, but more important is the future. So what you really want to set yourself up for is an internship. Some are paid like internships, and then some are not. So what you actually want to do here is you want to find an internship that allows you to either get paid or, for example, to give you the promise of giving you experience. So when you actually do get a job, you actually can earn a lot more money. That's the overall idea. Now, I do have to admit here, I did not take advantage of this when I was actually in college, because I was one of those people that said, if I can maintain my grades I make a good amount of money, why wouldn't I do that instead of doing, for example, an internship? But I do regret it, okay? Because if I had gone to, I also did the wrong major in a sense because I did accounting. I would have much rather gone into finance, but the overall idea is, okay, if I could have done accounting and said, hey, I'm gonna do an internship in accounting, for example, like doing taxes or whatever you actually wanna do, doing books, or all that stuff, then that would have been a much better of an investment, because when I graduated, I would have had a lot more experience. Now, by the way, a lot of people graduate and they have, for example, all the skills, but they actually don't know how to apply it because they actually never been trained before or actually worked in a real life environment. So I do recommend you focus on finding an internship that allows you to actually make some money. But if money is not an object, then money isn't really that crazy to begin with, or that much of a big option. Now, by the way, there is a bonus, and the bonus is this, okay? These are like side hustles for people that they want to make money, but on their own time. I did this too. I had a business where I flipped phones and flipped sneakers, and I went to Goodwill and bought things and then flipped it on eBay. Like all these things are kind of like a side hustle, so you can do it whenever you want to, whenever you need cash, and then do it for a while, make some money, and then just go back to chilling, okay? So people that actually just prioritize their freedom and not being bound to any type of employment relationship in a sense, okay? Now, here's the second thing you actually want to think about, which is basically, Tommy, what should I be doing with the money I actually make? So with the money you actually make while you're actually working these jobs in college, it all depends on what your necessities actually are. When I was in college, I lived with my parent, okay, my mom, and I didn't really have that many things to actually worry about. And because I didn't have bills, I said, well, I don't have bills, so it's time to use this money to be responsible, pay off my student loan debt, invest, and prepare for the future. Nah, I spent all that money on trash, yo. I went ahead, I bought sneakers, I bought clothes, I went out to eat almost every single day. I was living paycheck to paycheck with no bills, which makes absolutely no sense, but that was my lifestyle back then. But if I could do it all over again, be responsible, I would have said, well, Tommy, instead of graduating with $20,000 in debt, some savings per se, I would have much rather graduate with $0 in debt, have, for example, an investment account with like $20,000, $30,000 into the S&P 500, and I could have done that, okay? Because in that 3.5 year trajectory when I was in college, I actually made good money, okay? Just from like work stuff, I could have easily made like 12 to like 20K a year, and from like side hustle stuff, I could have easily made even more money. I could have maximized it so much more and put it in the right places. But when you're young and dumb and you're in college and you're just worried about the dumb things out there, that's not what's actually on your mind. But it is what it is, okay? And I learned from it. But I highly recommend, if you're in college and you're gonna be getting a job and you don't have that much financial burden in the first place, use that money to graduate fully debt-free. Use the extra money to go ahead and start investing. I would invest my money into the S&P 500, the 500 largest companies in the US, and just let that money sit there and continue to grow. Obviously, it's okay to spend 10, 15%, on fun and do whatever you want and to cover your necessities, okay? But your extra money, really use it to make sure that when you graduate with the least amount of burden possible. Now, there is a third question here, okay? When do you actually quit your job? The answer is whenever it's no longer convenient, okay? Have no loyalty towards a job, because in reality, that's not your priority when you're in college. Your priority is, yeah, I want to make some money, but overall, you really want to graduate. So if you find yourself not being able, for example, to have a job and to keep your grades up. By the way, when I say keep your grades up, I don't mean being in the president's list, the dean's list, having the craziest GPA out there. That's not what college is per se about. It really is about skills. So if you have a job and you're doing like an internship and you're working so hard on it, and you're getting B's and C's in college, that's fine, because when you actually graduate, you're gonna graduate with the skills. College is not about getting straight A's and then graduating and not being able to apply. That's not what it's about. Or getting straight A's and graduating, for example, with a bunch of loans. No, that's not what it's about. It's more about hey, I want to have a balance here, okay? A balance here. Yeah, when you apply for a job and you're able to say, I had a 4.0 GPA average, okay? That's pretty cool stuff, but can you actually work? You know, to say, hey, yeah, I have a 3.0 or whatever, but I actually did 3 years or 2 years in internship. I actually did this and that. Like, it's called having a balanced life. It's not just about, for example, the numerical digits or so. But guys, that is it for this video. So obviously my answer is, in the end, if you made it all the way here, is yeah, it is okay to actually work when you're in college. I highly recommend it, and I really do think there is a lot of value to be had, okay? You learn so many interpersonal skills when you're actually working active in the field, rather than just being in college and doing a whole bunch of theory nonsense, okay? That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, comment down below school, so I know you made it all the way to the end. Up here is another video. Over here is my face. And as always, long-term team officially out.